All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here with me in the heat of probably what's going to be the hottest day in Paris this year. So it's the fourth year that I present this presentation with some updates, for sure. But so I started with at ECC2, really talking about how brands use NFTs. 4 years ago, I still had a few people looking at me somewhat weird. Last year, I remember that but is it really happening? And I feel like this year, every time I talk about what we do and what brands do with NFTs, they're all like, oh, that's so obvious. I mean, everybody's doing that now. So the evolution is really interesting to see. So maybe a little bit of background on me first. I am originally the co-founder of Arianee, which we started this in late 2017, doing really NFTs for luxury brands. The idea was really at the time to use NFTs, which I don't know if you remember 2017, it was the early craze of crypto kitties, crypto punks. There was already kind of a hype around NFTs. And our thing was to use this technology that was really only used by degens to actually bring some value for a population that did not really know about crypto, did not really want to learn about crypto, but for who really thought that NFTs could bring something really, really strong. And that was the luxury industry. And we really started working really early with brands like Breitling, Panerai, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin. And I'll show a few examples of what we've done with NFTs with them. Now I just actually left the operational side of Arianee. We just closed a big funding raise with Tiger Global, and the company is doing very well. But I wanted to kind of go do something else, and I've just joined Exchange, which is a top VC in France, as a partner to launch really their crypto fund. So they're dedicating a fund to crypto with the same kind of idea that we had with Arianee at the beginning. It's really using crypto to solve problems that are across the chasm between the degens, or like all those cool technologies that degens have developed, and applying them to quote-unquote the real world, or like problems that my grandmother would have, which are not necessarily the same as DeFi farmers or NFT flippers. And we've already made a few investments. So really early, Exchange actually invested in Ledger in 2015, really led the seed round, CoinHouse, and more recently Dogami and Request Network. And if you have a cool project, we'll be very happy to talk about it, of course. So let's go into really how brands use NFTs. So with Arianee, the three main ways that brands have been using NFTs originally was really the idea of digital twins. So really at the beginning, we would use NFT as a digital passport for your physical product. And it was really a way for you, if you had a physical wallet, be able to prove online that you own a real product. We'll see what this is useful for, but think really of any token-gated solution that you can have if you can prove that you own an object in real life. The second thing that's actually been developing quite a bit recently are collectibles on the right, of course. You've all heard of them. Here you see my ape Gucci-fied, and it's an interesting thing. Gucci has done a lot of work on this. A few brands have done very well on this. Most of the brands we work with actually are kind of scared of collectibles because of the NFT flippers, the kind of speculative aspect. So we haven't done much collectibles. We've done a few that are tradable. But the main thing that's really developed in the last 18 months for Arianee was really the loyalty programs. And loyalty programs, NFTs, it's really NFTs that you give away. So here you have the NFT that was done for IWC that distributed to 1,800 of their best customers to really enable them to go onto a VIP group, which was token gated. You had to connect with your wallet to get onto the chat. But that for us has been the biggest growth. But digital twins is still something we do a lot and we'll keep on doing. But loyalty program is probably the big winner because usually they're given out for free. There's none of that aspect of trading that brands are kind of scared of because yes, you can make a bunch of money with happens in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months if all of a sudden the price goes to zero. That seems obvious now, of course. I think that was a big topic of Vitalik's talk last year, but that was really at the core of our idea at the beginning. As I said, we distributed NFTs with brands because we really thought it was a way for people to connect in a different way to different experiences, being able to prove not who they were, and we'll see a few examples where you do not need to give any personal information to have access to certain services that brands give. Just you connect with your wallet, and depending on whether you have which NFTs or the fungible tokens you have, you can just get straight in. So that's really the idea that with Web3, we're going from Web 1, we had username, password, extremely linked only to one platform. Web 2 introduced some kind of interoperability for all the wrong reasons, of course, with the Google, Facebook, and Twitter logins. The idea here was, of course, you share some information from Google to the platform you're logging in with, but also the platform is sharing a lot of information with Google on the other side. And now with Web 3, you just connect your wallet. You're actually the one that is the true owner of your wallet and its content, and you decide also what you share with a solution like Sysmo, for instance. It really creates a little ZK proof that you own an NFT without necessarily revealing everything that you have underlying. All right, so that's the core of really what we've been doing with Arianee for almost 5 years now. Let's get to a few examples, like practical. So one of the first implementation we did with Breitling back in 2020 and really launched early 2021 was here a digital twin. So every Breitling watch now comes with an NFT that is a digital passport, like a digital twin, digital identity for your physical product, which enables you to prove that you own a real Breitling, that you are actually the current owner of that Breitling, and record a bunch of information. Now the question once you have this NFT is not just how you hold it, it's how you use it. And the first implementation they did that was really interesting was to integrate it within their e-warranty system. And their e-warranty system, basically just a system when you have an issue with your watch. The traditional way of doing it is you log in, you give you create an account with email, password, a bunch of personal information to prove who you are with your address, your date of birth, and the name of your grandmother. Nobody knows why, but they recall this information because they've been told that it was important and that you needed this information. What they've implemented was really the idea that you claim your NFT just by scanning a QR code with a non-custodial wallet. And once you have it, you can actually go on the the classic login with password and email if you'd like. You can still do this, or you can just scan your QR code and sign with your wallet and prove that you actually owned a product and get into the warranty system. And they're actually, for them, this is a sufficient data point because really why they ask for all this personal information and kind of this hurdle is to make sure that you're not a bot or someone that is trying to just clog their system. And so that was one of the first implementations that really showed the utility of owning an NFT with your product to log into a token-gated platform. That's what they like to call anonymous clienteling, and for them it's really a prolongation of this tradition in luxury of discretion, meaning it's about when you get out of a fancy place like Place Vendôme here, where you have like those jewelry, you get out with a little black bag that doesn't really show, that's inconspicuous, doesn't really show look like anything, because they don't necessarily want. You don't want to show it to everybody. And same thing here, they're saying it's funny how we're really careful about people's identity when we're in store, but when you're online, we try to get as much information about them. Let's try to figure out how we can get the same utility, the same need that we have to prove this person is really a person without having to get all this personal information, which both is not very nice for the person, but also puts them at risk, because then it means GDPR compliance and a bunch of other risk when you store all this data. Second, a bit more recent application we did with IWC, and here that's what I was talking earlier. It's that the black diamond that they distributed to 1,800 of their best customers, like their VIP customers, earlier this year. And here they really created an entire slew of experiences around this NFT, and it was not just the e-warranty system. It was really as well different kind of token customized experiences. So you had a token-gated chat, which is something that we developed in-house. And then you had, of course, the membership NFT that you claimed. You could get both, you could link your VIP NFT with your product, of course, the digital twin for IWC. And you also had a Web3 website, which you had to log in, you had to sign with your wallet to log in, and depending on whether you only had a loyalty program NFT or if you had both a loyalty program and an NFT and a digital twin, you would have actually a customized experience on the website. So the website would actually have different paths depending on what you had in your wallet. So you could really create customized experiences without giving any other information than just the content of your wallet. All right. Next example is something we've done recently. It's really this idea of the link, of course, to the Metaverse, and that's something we've talked about really early, especially with Fortnite. We're quite interested in how Fortnite, was able to sell skins, and we were always talking about that to the brands, being like, hey, why don't you do digital fashion? Now it's starting to actually be, and especially have a physical product come with a digital version of your product. That's something that's, we have a little video here that shows kind of the experience of a hoodie we created with Sandbox, distributed at a party, which was was in April, and with which so once you had the NFT, you would claim the NFT of the product, and then you'd go on that website, and you could claim, so you select the product you had with the digital twin, and then you could connect to MetaMask and claim an NFT that was a little avatar in the Sandbox that wore this T-shirt that you had in real life. It's early stage, of course, and it's somewhat gimmicky today, but I do think that this is something that will be interesting. We're, of course, spending more and more time online. The Metaverse is not quite there yet, but it will be places where we'll have interesting experiences, and you'll want to be able to wear stuff there, and so why not wear that pair of sneakers that you don't wear in the real world because you don't want to destroy it, because it has resale value. At least you could wear it in the Sandbox or another Metaverse. So if I want to just leave you with one tweet that I did and kind of like one perspective of where I think things are going in the future. And it's really exemplified, I think, by this tweet and that showed something really interesting about this NFT. So the Adidas did a collab with the Bored Ape where you had this merch, or there was this entire idea that you could get an NFT with that gave you access to merch. So there was like a tracksuit, a beanie, and a hoodie, I think, and that sold for 0.2 ETH. And at some point you were going to be able to claim it. And it went up to about 1.4 at the moment of the claim. So that was this moment here is really the moment where you could claim and burn your NFT to get the clothes, to get the merch, and get another NFT, which is the one on the left. So you would burn the one on the right and get the one on the left, and you had only 3 weeks to do that. And the one on the right is the one where you can claim the merch, and the one on the left is the one that does not really promise you anything else than there might be something else later. There's a continuation of the experience. And the price difference that you can see is only 0.1 ETH, so it's like less than 10%, meaning the merch itself, like the physical product, is valued at less than 10% of the value of the original NFT. The continuation of the experience, the fact that you'll have something else, you don't know what, you know if it's merch or something else, is valued much more than the actual physical product. And that was really something that we thought of, back in 2017, was the idea that at some point the NFT will maybe be more valuable than the physical product it comes with. You might buy a physical product just to get the NFT because that's really what you want, because what's important is not necessarily the physical product, it's all the experience, all the continuation of the experience, the relationship you have with the brand that comes with the NFT. And to say it another way, it's like if you buy a product that doesn't come with an NFT, it means you're missing a bunch of the value because you don't have all this continuation of the experience. And to me, that was really interesting because it really showed that we finally have an example where that happens. The physical product is less important than the digital experience that it comes with. And I think that's where we're going. I think really tomorrow when I'm asked, like, what do you think are going to be NFTs in the future? It's like, well, I think tomorrow if you buy a product and there's not an NFT with it, you're not going to want the product because you're missing a bunch of the experience. And the NFT is part of the product. So that's for the physical product. And I'm really excited seeing more of this because I think also it changes the way brands interact with their customers and think of their products. It's not just a transactional way of interacting with them. It's not just come to my store, I sell you a piece of clothing and then bye-bye, or maybe we talk next time you need another piece of clothing. It's, hey, come in store or buy online. I give you a piece of clothing, but it also comes with an experience and a relationship that we're going to keep on building. And so buying a product is just the first step in a much larger experience. And so we're really enhancing products and making it much less about just selling products and shipping product, and much more about how do I actually create an experience and relationship with my brand. Thank you very much, guys. If you have a few questions, I'll be here.
Thanks, Luc. Is there any question?
As I said, I think now everything I'm saying is obvious. It's everybody's doing it. Oh.
What do you think is coming next after this? A lot of big brands have now been getting into this NFT game and testing it. But what do you think? What do you think? What are you like proposing to them next? Right? They're all testing more or less similar things. But what are you trying to push the boundaries with them?
Yeah. So most of what we do with them really is on the not selling NFTs. Don't look at OpenSea and don't think about the trading. It's more like how do you distribute NFTs to your customers? So first, in an easy way for customers that are not crypto native. Like definitely, if you have one of those NFTs, you're a crypto native. You know how to use MetaMask. You know how to use. This is not the way of the future for the majority of the population. And so a big question is how do you create non-custodial wallets that are easy to use for my grandmother, basically. So that's one thing, and I think we're really lacking still on the wallet side. I mean, Arianee has a wallet that is really easy to use for final customers, but it's far from being perfect, and we keep on building and making it more easier to use. As I said, really my benchmark is, can my grandmother use it? If my grandmother cannot use it, then it's no good. The second part is going to be much more around token gating. Like right now, token gating always revolve around the same ideas of you can have a token-gated chat. You can have kind of a customized experience in a website. Starting to talk about metaverses, but I think we'll mostly agree that metaverses are still quite a few years down the road, mass adoption for metaverses. So the question is, what are those other utilities you can build? And here we have some experience like physical experience, like VIP parties, which are token gated. So it's really all this that they are experimenting. I don't have the killer application, because if I had it, I would be selling the hell out of it to all the brands. But that's what we're exploring. It's like, how can owning an NFT open a bunch of different utility beyond just number go up? All right. If there's another question, I think we have 1 minute.
How do brands deal with the coupling of the NFT and the actual product that they are selling behind? Because if you have this merge and you can how do you say it? You redeem it and then you burn the NFT to get the real product. Yeah. But in some cases where it's coupled, how?
So different ways. First, there is the burning mechanism like Adidas did, but there are also mechanisms. We actually we have an NFT format that is upgradable. So it's like a composable NFT basically. So you can add an event, say, oh, this NFT was burned or was upgraded or was changed. So that is possible. Like you can actually upgrade your NFT. So even like, oh, this product that came with this NFT was lost or destroyed. Could be one way of doing it. Now there is a question as to when it comes to physical good plus NFT. What happens if I sell my physical good without the NFT or others? And maybe there's someone that just says, I just want the digital NFT, not the physical one. There's no perfect answer to this, but there are plenty of different little things that we can talk about later on. But quite honestly, if someone wants to buy the NFT without the physical product, I mean, I find that fascinating, and I don't see why we should be against it. Thank you very much.